Horror is a genre in manga filled with some of the most grotesque images and heart-pounding stories that will keep you sleeping with one eye open every night. It's hard to imagine how a bunch of pictures on a page can invoke such a sense of primal fear in us. But thanks to legends like Kazuo Umezu, Junji Ito, and many others, horror has flourished in manga media throughout the decades. However, there's one duo who I rarely hear mentioned in the scene, them being artist Kazuo Inabe and writer Yu Kuraishi. In 2011, they teamed up to create what I think is one of the most underrated horror manga ever, Fort of Apocalypse. Published by Kodansha and monthly shonen rival, and then digitally in Manga Bucks until 2015, it received an English translation on digital platform Crunchyroll Manga during the early years of the service's life. A lack of physical releases outside of Japan contributed to the series' fade into obscurity. It's a zombie manga centered on 4 young delinquents trapped in their juvenile detention center when a virus ravages the world and causes the human population to transform into flesh-eating monsters. The early 2010s saw media like The Walking Dead and World War Z catapult zombies back into the cultural zeitgeist, and zombie fever was running wild. This manga encapsulates that time period with its own spin in an era when zombie manga were still surprisingly scarce. Our story begins in the year 2000, where we see a news report informing us about a story of a recently arrested man who went berserk and bit a police officer on the neck, causing him to pass away from blood loss. We then pan over to Shouran Academy, a juvenile detention center hosting 144 people, 124 being inmates and the other 20 being guards. Here we are introduced to our main protagonist, 16-year-old Maeda. Despite his meek and mild-mannered appearance, he's being incarcerated for the gruesome crime of committing murder. Maeda continues to plead his innocence to the academy's warden, but his words fall on deaf ears. The warden simply interprets this as Maeda showing no remorse for what he's done, and sends him to Cell 4, where he will serve the remainder of his sentence. As Maeda makes that long walk through his new home, he reminisces on the old life that he must now leave behind. His friends, the girl he liked, his family, all people that now live in his past. What must they think of him now, having been accused of such a horrendous act? How will he survive here, surrounded by Japan's most vicious juveniles? Here he meets his cell's representative, Yoshioka, a seemingly friendly character that is prone to succumbing to his violent impulses towards those that are quick to anger him. As he asks Maeda what he's in for, Maeda goes on to explain the incident that got him into this mess. On his walk home from school, he found a mutilated corpse on the steps of his apartment complex. Standing over it is the killer, but he makes his escape before the police arrive. Maeda is subsequently accused of being the culprit. We then see his other cellmate, Iwakura, walk in. He's a towering, muscular figure who lets his actions speak more than his words. As he gets undressed, Maeda shockingly notices what looks like a bullet wound scar on his back. Afterwards, the final member of Cell 4, Yamanoi, aka Newman, joins in and tells Maeda to get comfy, because he shouldn't hold out hope for a retrial. He's a quick-witted and intelligent teen, often choosing logic and calculations over any kind of emotion. He's not below resorting to violence if need be, though. And thus, we have the main cast all together for this apocalyptic tale. Meanwhile, we're transported over to the autopsy of the officer that was said to have died earlier in this chapter. As he's being prepared for examination by the coroner, his body springs back to life, foreshadowing what's to come. We see that more and more zombies are popping up across the city, feasting on the living, husband eating wife, neighbor eating neighbor. Everyone will now bear witness to the end of the world. Back at Shouran, the inmates are in the cafeteria eating their lunch. A rival cell, Cell 8, initiates a fight with Cell 4, and they're all sent outside to run 100 laps in the yard as punishment. While running, Maeda looks up and sees a murder of crows darkening the skies. To his shock, a severed ear falls out from one of their beaks. A prison van returning from the city then crashes in the yard, with an injured-looking man stepping out. One of the guards offers to take him to the infirmary, and before any of the delinquents can piece together what's going on, the injured man takes down the guard and starts devouring him. 1 dead, 143 remain. All hell now breaks loose within the walls of Shouran Academy. The boys are able to escape to a nearby classroom, but they're far from safe as a zombified guard breaks through the glass and bites one of the youths. Newman quickly puts the monster down with a gun he lifted off of a guard. After deducing how the virus spreads, he mercilessly and with no hesitation shoots the bitten inmate in the head. A riot breaks out and the inmates try to escape through the main gate, but are forced to close it back up once they see the overwhelming horde of zombies populating the outside. Meanwhile, Cell 4 climbs up to the roof where they literally watch the world burn. They must reconcile with the fact that the Academy, what was once their hell, has become their only salvation and safe haven. In the ruins of humanity stands a fort of apocalypse.
He said it! He said it!
Not all hope seems lost though. When Maida frantically calls his house to check on his family, his mother picks up the phone and confirms they're still alive. This sense of relief is only brief, however, as the call is abruptly disconnected. The members of Cell 4 decide to steal one of the school vans and set out to find Maida's family in this horrendous new world. Across the course of the series, we watch the boys grow and form a strong sense of brotherhood between each other. 4 young teens who otherwise would have never interacted if not for their circumstances become inseparable. But besides Maida, there really are no morally righteous heroes of this story. The other 3 members of Cell 4 are responsible for committing despicable crimes. Yoshioka reveals that his father left him at an early age. He himself then ran away from home to live a life of lawless vagrancy due to the clash of similar personalities between him and his mother. Iwakura was the son of a Japanese businessman working in Africa. His entire family is killed and he is forced to be recruited as a child soldier in a militia. He's lived most of his life gunning down anyone he's been ordered to shoot in order to preserve his own life. Newman was raised by his severely mentally ill mother, a washed-up actress who goes off the deep end and abuses Newman to be the perfect son while they live in squalor. He murders a social worker that tries to separate him from his mother and disposes of the body in an unimaginable way. Are they all without redeeming qualities though? No. They're all fiercely loyal to each other, gladly putting themselves in harm's way to protect one another. In one scene, Cell 4 stumbles upon the arcade that was once owned by Yoshioka's mother. In there he finds his favorite pinball machine that he suspects his mother kept in hopes that he might return someday. While an undead horde breaks in the store, the boys cover for Yoshioka so that he can relive his childhood through his favorite game one last time. A moment that may seem so trivial means everything to them, because they know it means everything to Yoshioka. And even despite Maida's newcomer status, they treat him like a brother that they've known for years. They help him look inside himself to find the strength to survive in this world. In a different universe, they all might have been productive members of society. Yoshioka could have inherited his mother's arcade, Iwakura could have become a formidable soldier in the SDF, and Newman could have become a prestigious intellectual. Unfortunately, that was not the hand they were dealt in life. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of what makes a good zombie story. Of course, we're going to talk about the zombies themselves. There's a few variations of the undead depicted in the story. We have the ones infected by what is called the M virus. There are ones that we'll call regulars, These are your basic zombies that you see in most media. They're able to produce quick bursts of speed and are immensely powerful, able to rip through humans with ease. They are covered in pulsing veins, with their bulbous eyes nearly popping out of their skulls. They carry remnants of when they were still alive, capable of repeating certain phrases and old routines they have lived through. Then there are the dog-like creatures. These barely resemble their previous human forms, with most or all their hair gone, their lips having rotted off, exposing their teeth, even showing sometimes a sinister smile. Their noses have developed into snouts, and they are incredibly fast. They're even capable of showing intelligence by immobilizing and trapping their prey. There are also the seals that are completely hairless and have wide noses and thick lips, with beady eyes, arms that resemble flippers, and tail-like feet. Their slow speed hardly makes them a threat though. Finally, there's the Leviathan, a whale-like creature that is shown to hunt even other infected. The other variant of this disease is what's known as the F virus. This one takes much longer to incubate, and few humans are even susceptible to it. But once it finds a suitable host, it transforms them into a creature with compound eyes containing 3 irises and an absence of genitalia or excretory orifices. They come in various forms, from humanoid to unhuman. They have the ability to control the M-virus zombies through a sound pitch that is only detectable to them, either increasing their speed or having them contort into massive towers of undead. They can inhale their lungs to an unfathomable size and let out an eardrum-shattering screech. They're incredibly hard to kill due to their healing factor that allows them to regenerate almost all wounds. Newman dubs them Bakor, naming them after the voodoo priests with the ability to punish others by turning them into the undead. These zombies are more than just mindless monsters. They are the next step in human evolution. But the old species they try to wipe out just refuses to go extinct. At only 46 chapters long, it's a quick read that is sure to get you into the Halloween spirit this month. Thanks for making it to the end. I'm glad that you're here. If you're interested, consider subscribing for more horror content that I'll be covering this month. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below what you want to see me cover next. Hope you have a great day, and happy reading.